great pleasure of introducing our next speaker, Pedro Casillas, DTM. DTM Pedro Casillas has been in Toastmasters since 2002 and is definitely Toastmasters enthusiast. Currently, he's a member of two clubs, one in England and the other in Spain. Over the past 20 plus years, he ran his own information technology company, serving as company director and delivering services such as IT training, project management, and performance management. His driving principle comes from Peter Drucker, which is to elicit extraordinary performances from ordinary people. Pedro joined Toastmasters because he wanted to help grow Toastmasters everywhere he could. At the club level, he encourages clubs to establish good working practices where everyone works together to create an environment where all can excel. He's held every role in a Toastmasters club except Sergeant at Arms. Pedro applied similar principles when he was a district director in 2018-2019, with the promotion of quality being at the top, from well-run clubs to well-run areas and divisions, leading to future growth. Pedro's Toastmasters honors and recognition include Excellence in Leadership, Select Distinguished District, President's 20 Plus Award, and Excellence in Program Quality. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome and introduce distinguished Toastmaster Pedro Casillas, all the way from the United Kingdom.
Thank you very much, Allegra, and good morning, District 14. Can everyone just go down to the reactions and just give me a thumbs up or a wave to say hello? Let's see if you can use the technology. Thank you very much. And greetings from London, UK. The way I'm going to do this little talk, and following on from Vesandra, if that's at all possible, the energy is up and running. I'm going to start off by telling you a little story, which I think is relevant for the times we are living in today. Then I'll tell you a little bit more about me and why I'm speaking with you today. And then I've got a few tips that will help you all, for those of you who need it, is to help you bring your whole self back to Toastmasters. So let me take you on a journey. And we're going to go to southern Spain, a place called Cordoba. This is in Europe. When I was at university, I had the opportunity to visit the Grand Mosque in Cordoba. And if you've never been to Cordoba, this is a wonderful building, and I would urge everyone to put it onto your bucket list. It is an extraordinary place. And when you get there, you'll see that this is a very large building, and lots of the buildings around it are very small. Interesting, as when you get close to the building, you'll notice that the entrance is very small. Cordoba in the summer is one of the hottest places in Europe. It's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade. But when you walk inside, you're enveloped by a wonderful coolness, and you get a sense of spirituality when you walk through the doors. It is an extraordinary place. And once your eyes adjust to the light, you get to see what's in the vision behind me. These wonderful pillars and columns, which stretch the whole length of the building. As I started to walk through the building, I began to notice that the architecture started to change. It was like new buildings had been added on, new apartments, walls, everything was slightly different. And I asked my professor about this, and he said, for 800 years, the Moors were in power in southern Spain. And during those 800 years, every sultan wanted to put his own mark on the mosque. And he would add a new part, a new apartment, a new wall. He would repair. And this carried on for 800 years until things started to change within the southern part of Spain. The Sultan started to introduce new innovations. The people didn't like them. People stopped coming to the mosque. At the same time, the power in the north of Spain, the Catholic kings of Ferdinand and Isabella, were getting stronger and stronger, and they kept attacking the Moors until in 1492 they overthrew the Moors and expelled them from Spain, and the mosque fell into disrepair. So this is where you're thinking, good story, what's this got to do with Toastmasters? Well, if you think we are not living in normal times, COVID-19 has changed everything for us. How many of us are out of work? I'm out of work because of COVID. How many of us are not being able to see our friends and family because of COVID? How many people are sadly no longer with us because of COVID? And then we've had other changes going on within the Toastmasters world. Now, because of COVID, we're using Zoom. And how many people are saying to you, oh, I miss the days when we're meeting face to face. I don't want to do any of this Zoom piece. It's too far from me. I can't do it. I can't. And they've left us. Or how many people have said to you, oh, I don't like this pathways. I'm out of here. I believe that all of us together, we can beat COVID, and we can do that by working together, bringing our full selves back to the Toastmasters world. So who am I to tell you and give you some advice? Well, as Allegra said, I was born in London, UK. My father came from Spain and my mother came from Ireland. My father, at the age of 17, he lived through the Spanish Civil War, and then he lived through the Second World War before finally being released into the UK in the 1940s. And my mother came looking for work after the war, and they lived through some trying times. The 40s, 50s, 60s were not easy times at all, but they got through it. And we together, we can get through this too. I've been a member of Toastmasters for 18 years. And as Allegra said, I've played pretty much every role. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. I've also completed one complete path in Pathways. So I'm doing okay. Well, why did I join Toastmasters? Well, I used to be a high school teacher. And one of the scariest things, and to this day I'm still scared of it, was to stand up in front of a whole class, of whole school, and talk. Luckily, I came to Toastmasters and I've learned how to do that. Toastmasters has taught me so much more. See, I moved on at some point. I moved on from being a high school teacher to becoming an IT trainer. Being a member of the club committee, being an area director, division director, I learned the skills that helped me to move from being a high school teacher to becoming an IT trainer. And then afterwards, I wanted to move into the world of project management. And I found that Toastmasters gave me the tools and gave me the opportunity to learn and practice. And I kept applying that as I moved into becoming the district director, and I was able to lead my team. 3 years ago, we finished 11th in the world, select distinguished, second in the world for clubs with more than 20 members. Toastmasters works, but it works because we put the effort in. And I found the luckier I become is when I give more to Toastmasters. And the more I give to other people, the more I get back in most unexpected ways. And I think most of us know that's the truth. But why am I with you today? During July, August, I was running for the role of international director. And I came to visit with District 14, and I met your district trio of Anwesha, Allegra, and Marian. And I noticed that your district had lost lots of members and had lost lots of clubs. By all standards, District 14 was not in a good place. But what impressed me was the trio, how they said, we're not going to accept that. We are going to work really hard to bring us back up to full strength again. And I got it. So when Allegra invited me to come and speak with you today, she still had that passion. And I thought, well, if there's anything I can do to come and help, I'm there, because I can see that you have a team of leaders who really want to do well for you. And I know within time, that's exactly what's going to happen. And you will be back up to where you should be. So that brings me to some tips about how we can all bring our full selves back to the Toastmasters world. And I'd like to share with you a tip that I use, and I call it coffee time. You can call it wine time, soda time, it doesn't matter, because this will work, and it works all the time, as long as you put the effort into it. And I'd like you all to, if you wouldn't mind, just closing your eyes for a moment, and I'm going to take you on a journey. We're going into the future. The year is 2022. That's about 18 months from now. We're in Paris, France, in Europe. The month is August. And we are at the International Convention. And one of the international directors is speaking and is saying, District 14 has come so far and they have done so well. And what we would like to do now is to invite one member from District 14 to come up and receive this award for the excellence that they have worked through. And we'd like them to come up, receive the reward, and say a few words. Now, are you that person? Because suddenly the international director points directly at you. Now, do you stand up, tall, straight, confident, and you walk purposefully, really very excited to go up on stage to receive that award? Or do you sit there thinking, no, not me. Why me? But can you go up instead? No, not me. And then you stand up and your legs start to tremble. And then as you approach the stage, you feel that you're on the green mile, and you feel, I can't. Many of us feel this way when we're asked to do something new for the first time, to get up and stand up in front of a group, to stand up in front of a large group. Well, this tip called coffee time, you can open your eyes now. This tip called coffee time, I guarantee, because I use it all the time, it's helped me to come and speak in front of you today. It helps us to speak in front of any group. There's going to be a lot of eye closing, so I apologize in advance. Close your eyes again. And this time, I want you to imagine that you are with a very, very close friend. And for those of you who have no friends out there, just make up that you've got a friend. It works just as well. Now you're with this friend, and it's the sort of friend that you can speak about anything and they will speak about anything. And there's a flow in the conversation. There's no tension between you. And then all of a sudden you look at your watch and you notice that 2 hours have passed by, but it appears like it's only 5 minutes. You feel your breathing. It's easy. Your breathing's in and out, it's fine. What about your legs? Your legs are all calm. You are very, very relaxed. Capture this moment. This is coffee time. And this is what I do 5 minutes before I go into a meeting. I imagine that every person within the audience is that friend. They may not look like that friend, but they are like that friend, and they want the best for me. And that makes me feel nice and relaxed, and then I can speak freely and easily. You can open your eyes now. Here's your action exercise. Before you speak at any meeting, even if you're speaking later today, just take 5 minutes and close your eyes and imagine you're talking to your best friend, and you'll notice how relaxed you are. And then when you get up to speak, how calm and confident you are. Oh no, I know you're saying to me, oh, that sounds great, Pedro, but really, you don't know what sort of night I've had. It's been awful. I am down. I've got the flu. I've got the cold. I've got this, and I'm really down. I don't feel very well. Well, there are times that I'm feeling low energy too. So that's when I bring in James Brown. Everyone know who James Brown is? I think you might have heard of this man. And he says, I feel good. Da, 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 da. I knew that I would now. So good. So good. I got you. There is something in that song that just lifts me up. And I go from being low energy to high energy, just like that. Now, you might not like James Brown. That's fine. Choose a song which you believe brings you energy and that you can turn it on. And what I did before I came on today, I did exactly that. I did my James Brown loud. And I hope I'm coming across as being fairly upbeat and fairly energetic. Okay. You can do that and you can turn it on. So you imagine that you're doing your coffee time and you're doing James Brown all at the same time. What's that going to do to your speaking? You're going to be bringing this full self back to you. Not a problem. Oh, I know. I don't understand your problems. Oh, absolutely. I know. If you only knew how scared you were when you stand up on stage. Oh gosh, yes, I know, understand that. Yeah, well, I've got another technique to deal with that too. This is called feel that fear and just get over it. I'd like you also to join me. We're going to go and take a look at this and you will understand what I'm talking about. Just close your eyes a minute and I want you to cast your mind back to that very first time that you went to a Toastmasters meeting. You didn't know anything about Toastmasters. You wondered what all these people were doing, getting up and clapping, and what on earth was going on. And suddenly, the Toastmaster picks on you to come up and do a table topic. You have no idea what table topic is that you're asked to come up and do. And all of a sudden, your legs start to have a mind of their own, and they start to tremble. And then your stomach is starting to do butterflies, and you're thinking, oh, what on earth is going on? And then I don't know, it feels like an age, but it takes you ages to get to the front of the room and you're up on stage. And then someone asks you a question and you barely hear the question and your mouth has all gone dry and you're starting to panic. And all these people are looking at you and you're going, and you're wishing that the floor would open and that you would just fall through it. And you're wishing, you're looking, how can I get out of this place? And next thing you know, you're down, you've sat down again, and you've only been on your feet for 30 seconds. Does anyone resonate with that? Happens, right? Here's a technique I learned from a psychiatrist, writer. His name was Viktor Frankl. You may have come across him before. He wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, and it was about his experiences of surviving Auschwitz, the German Nazi concentration camp. And he says, if you can feel the fear in advance, then when you actually come to explore, face that fear, it's not so scary. Now, I'm sure most of you have seen a scary movie at some time in your lives, right? And you know you're watching it, and you're getting the tensions building up, and suddenly, and you. Have you ever seen a scary movie more than once? If you have, you'll notice that it's not so scary the second time because you already know what's going to happen. And imagine if you saw the scary movie a third time. Again, you would know exactly what's going to happen because you've already lived through it. This is what Feel That Fear is all about. He uses a fancy title. He calls this paradoxical intention, but I just call it Feel That Fear. And this is what you should do. And you're going to do it with me right now. I want you to imagine that you're going to do something incredibly scary. It could be that you are going to stand up in front of a group of 3,000 people and you've never done that before. Or it could be that you're going to do your icebreaker and you haven't done that either. And I want you to walk with me and we're going to do it together. And you can close your eyes if you wish to. And we walk up to the stage. And then we start to feel, okay, what part of the body is starting to feel nervous? Okay, it's the legs. Okay, they're trembling. Okay, and now shortness of breath. Okay, mouth is getting dry. Okay, sweaty palms. Labored breathing. Balance is not so good. And all those eyes boring into you. Well, that's not so good either. And then someone's starting to laugh at you. And then someone's going, look at that idiot, look at that person. And someone's going, nah, 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 nah. Everything is going wrong that possibly could go wrong. And you feel embarrassed. And you feel that you just want to be out of there. Now ask yourself this. Supposing people did start laughing at you, and people did start to saying what a rubbish speaker you are and how awful you were. What do you think would happen afterwards? In my own opinion and in my experience, people don't like it that you fail. And they will come up to you afterwards and they will give you advice. Because that's what we do in Toastmasters. We give people advice, we help. But by feeling that fear, by feeling it in every fiber of you, when you come to explore and feel the fear of reality, it's not there. What you think is going to happen just won't happen. I'll tell you this because I do this all the time. You know, I didn't know. Things could have gone wrong today. I was thinking, what could have gone wrong for me today? Well, Zoom could have crashed out on me. My screen could have gone haywire on me. I could have got tongue-tied. It's happened. So what would I have done had that happened to me? Well, I've got my script. So should it go wrong, I've got a script. Should Zoom bomb out on me? Well, I'll just pick myself up and go again. But I've prepared for that. I've gone through and I've looked at what could possibly go wrong. And if it does, it could be that all of you decide to switch off the videos right now and say, bye, Pedro, don't want to speak to you. Well, that's feedback to me, and I learned from that. But the point is, I've thought about what could go wrong. It's not going to happen. So let's recap. I started telling you about the mosque in Cordoba because they took their eye off the ball. They started doing things that were against what the people wanted. They also had a big enemy in the north, the Catholic kings and queens, and they got overthrown. We're facing one of the biggest crises in the world, COVID. Do we give into it, or do we learn to fight back? And Toastmasters is one of the best ways to fighting back because we are a family, we're a community, we help and support each other. The fact is we have members from around the world on this call today is testament to the fact that people want to help and support each other. But we have to bring ourselves to this story. We can't be passive and allow other people to do all the work for us. If you want to get better, if you want to do good work, then you have to put the work in. Allegra mentioned that I'm a member of 2 clubs. Well, I thought because of what was happening this year, we were going to go to France as part of the international convention. So I thought I'm going to brush off my old school French. So I joined this club called Experience French. Oh, but it was one of the best things I could ever do, because I took my French from right down the bottom and I moved it up. And I did the same with Spanish. I spoke a bit of Spanish. So I joined a club in Spain. And then I started visiting other clubs around the world. And I got to know people in other parts of the world. And the best thing is, it's free for all of us. We can do this. The tips I'm giving you. 1, coffee time. Have a good coffee with your friend and see how you feel when you come up to speak. Bring James Brown along for the ride so you get some energy, and then feel that fear and do it anyway. Practice these 3. It takes time. The first time I did it, I thought, no, this is not working. Try it again. Still not working. Try it again. Started working. Try again. Started working. Keep trying and keep practicing. And then teach somebody else. Because someone in this audience, someone who used to be a member of your district has left and is just waiting for you to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, come on, Joe, come back. And they'll come back. I do this and it works. Bring them back. Because the more we have, the more stories we hear, the more energy we have, the better we'll be. And this is what I like about District 14. You're going along that path too, and which is great news. Now, I'm just coming up to the end of my time, so I'm going to pause and stop here. If any of you would like to pose any questions, ask me any questions you like, please write in the chat. I'm going to stay online for a while, so I'll look at the questions and I'll answer as many as I can. If not, pass them on to Allegra and I'll get back to you. But I'm here to help and support you guys. I hope you're here to help and support everyone else, because together we can overcome this COVID. Together we can be strong again. Back to you, Allegra.
Wow, Pedro, that was exceptional. You gave me a lot of different things to look at. Now, one of the greatest nuggets I got was Toastmaster works because we put in the effort. And that is true to form for any Toastmaster. And we also know it is work. It is work to make ourselves to be, what is it? The whole self.